I'm Jerry Miles. I'm with Bethesda Community Church, and I would like to share a little talk with joy today with you. What situation do you find yourself in now? Do you find yourself financially challenged? Do you find yourself nervous of the conditions of the country and the moral decay that exist? Do you find yourself anxious over a work situation or what people might think about you? I want to share with you, Jesus is the joy of my existence. In the Christian, one of the fruits of the Spirit is joy. And it's the greatest of the fruits of the Spirit. The joy of knowing who you are, knowing where you're going. Do you have the joy of life? Where do you turn to for answers to your worries? God tells us to cast our cares upon Him. As Christians, we need to turn to God. But when we're really having problems, and when we're not having problems, where's God on our priority list? Is God someone that we think about on Sunday mornings? And then go about our week facing the challenges of life all on our own? Where's God on your priority list? Where does He fit into your life? I want us to go take a look at a letter Paul wrote to the church of Philippi. He's in prison in Rome, and he wrote a letter of gratitude for support given to him by the church of Philippi. But he sends a warning to the church of Philippi in chapter 4. And I'm going to read 2 verses with explanations on them over this warning that he's given the church of Philippi. Let your moderation be known to all men. The Lord is at hand. Verse 6 of chapter 4. Be careful for nothing. It means don't worry. Don't worry about anything. But in everything, by prayer and supplication. See, the cure for worry for the Christian is our prayers. Then he says, with thanksgiving. That accounts for God's taking care of us in the past, and what He's going to do in the future, and what He's doing right now in our present. And He tells us, let your request be made known unto God. This speaks of all material things, spiritual things and physical things. In verse 7, and the peace of God, that's our sanctifying peace, which passes all understanding, is beyond all human understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Jesus Christ, through what Christ did at the cross. That's the warning. Don't worry. God's in control. He goes on, and I'm going to read in chapter 4, verses 10 through 19. But I rejoice in the Lord greatly, that now, at the last, your care of me has flourished again, wherein you were also careful, but you lacked opportunity. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned, in whatsoever state I am, therefore with to be content. Know both how to be abased. I know how to abound. Everywhere in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Notwithstanding, you have done well, that you did communicate with my affliction. Now you Philippians know also that in the beginning of the gospel, when I departed from Macedonia, on church communicated with me as concerning giving and receiving, but only you. For even at Thessalonica you sent once and again unto my necessity. But because I desire a gift, but I desire fruit that may abound to your account, that I have all and abound. I am full, having received Epaphroditus the things which were sent from you, an odor of sweet smell, a sacrifice acceptable, well-pleasing to God. But my God shall supply all your needs according to his riches in glory by Jesus Christ. God is in control. The one thing that I think we need to get from this scripture reading is that our joy is not the things of this world. Our joy does not lie upon the things of this world. Matthew 16:26 says that, what does man profit if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? And it asks a question, what is a man willing to give in exchange for his soul? As Christians, our joy lies in doing God's work, the work that he's given to us. In verse 12 he says, I know how to be abased. I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. But you back up to verse 11, he says, I've learned to be content. The contentment of the Christian is knowing God's in control, and that he will meet all of our needs according to his riches and glory. In verse 13, a very, very popular verse, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I'd like to say, I can endure all things through Christ who strengthens me. When we truly give ourselves to Christ, when we really come to the realization that he's in control, he tells us in Luke 9:23 to take up our cross and follow him daily. Daily we're to take up our cross and to follow him. For he is the joy of our salvation. We can't forget the moment of our salvation. We can't forget when we gave ourselves to Christ. We can't forget the new creation he made us. Romans 12:2 tells us to be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of our mind, that we can do what is the good and acceptable will of God. Are you doing what God's called you to do? If you aren't, then you don't have the joy of your salvation. You're missing out. You're missing out on the true joy that comes by doing what God has called you to do. So I challenge you. Remember the joy of your salvation. And remember it comes through the cross of Calvary. Because the only way to get through to Christ is through the cross. The only way to get to heaven is through the cross. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and nobody comes to the Father but by me. So I hope that you've made that decision to have the joy of life and have a place to put all those cares and the burdens of life, because it shouldn't be in your hands. God's got big hands. He'll carry them for us. God bless you.